All right, hello, my friends. Welcome back. Welcome back, mech fans. I am Omar Krieg. Olaf is, of course, never wanted to do these weeks in reviews, so let's take a look and see how things have progressed now that we've moved through the quarterfinals round of the 3025 championship playoffs. We had some really good matches. We'll talk about those in just a moment. But first, let's go ahead and talk more about the kills. A lot of the stats that we were tracking before, I feel at this point are kind of inconsequential or not as important. But this one is still being tracked simply for bragging rights and any other, reasons. In the past week with the quarterfinals round, Clift of the debutantes has moved up to 11 kills, with Zhao from the Industrialists sitting at 10. And everybody else has kind of fallen off. Vamsi, of course, sitting at 8, but Vamsi won't be gaining any more kills as she is out for the rest of this season. Bui and Salam and Copeland are sitting at 5. Bui and Copeland still have a chance to gain some more kills, but it is unlikely that they will overtake Zhao or Clift. For the team kill counts, here's one. The Industrials moved up from 17 kills to 20 kills after their 3-kill match earlier this week against the Science Spirits. This puts them in the lead with the Debutantes and the Dragonborn very close nearby, and all three teams are still in competition. Golden Suns, the other of the 4 teams still in the competition, sitting at 13 kills. But again, unless they make it into the finals and do extremely well in both the semis and the finals, it's unlikely that they're going to catch up. But anything can happen, of course. Let's talk about the individual teams after this quarterfinals round. Canopian Honeybees went up against the Luthien Dragonborn, and they had a pretty good showing. The player behind the team / role-playing wise, the team manager, has done a lot of growth and gotten a lot better at Mega Mech. Put up a pretty good fight against the Dragonborn. Unfortunately, it just ultimately wasn't enough. Now, they did manage to almost completely slag the King Crab, unfortunately, with Case as the King Crab 000, I think it is, or maybe it's the 001 variant. It has Case on that mech. So even with the ammo explosions, the King Crab died, but it was still ultimately recoverable. Despite taking out that King Crab, the Honeybees did lose the match, so they have been eliminated in the quarterfinals. We will see Luke Labrador returning as the team manager for the Canopian Honeybees, or potentially a minor change of some sort with Luke Labs, the player. He has, of course, expressed his intent to return in the 30-29 season. Next up, Davian Golden Suns. They took on the Torian Nationals in the quarterfinals. Golden Suns were able to stay focused on their opponent despite constant repositioning and hit-and-run tactics, and ultimately won the match, mostly from sticking to a technical and tactical approach rather than the typical brute force. It was a very interesting match to play. I played the Nationals against Fohammer and his Golden Suns. It was a really challenging match, and I almost had it, but he got me on points in the end. So the Golden Suns will advance to the semifinals. Dover Crows, another team that has done really well, especially for a new team, both in the narrative as well as a new player. This is Talus's team, my oldest son. He's done really well this season, despite whatever the stats and any other numbers might actually show. He himself has gotten really good. Most likely, I forgot to ask him in that match if he was going to come back for 30-29. I'm pretty sure he will. If not, of course, we will adjust appropriately. He very nearly had this match. Unfortunately, unforeseen twist of fate, the Crows, they were about to win, but ultimately lost at the very last moment due to a bit of mismanaged heat. Because of overheat rules, the mech shut down, and then the ammo board blew up, destroying the mech, which caused problems for him and ultimately gave the points, if not necessarily kill credit, to the debutantes. So the Crows were eliminated. Unfortunate. I do expect to see Talos back next season. We'll see what happens. Luthien Dragonborn. We talked about them a second ago when they took on the Canopian Honeybees. It was a costly win for the Dragonborn, however. Not only was the king crab almost nearly gone and completely destroyed, it was recovered, but a key figure in the team and its management was injured extensively, and will not be available for the rest of the season or postseason or what have you. That would be Elizabeth Montgomery or Liz Montgomery. Unfortunately, in the skin of the teeth ejection rules, um, it does, regardless of what has happened previous to. No, I take that back. It adds 3 injuries to the pilot. I'm going off of memory, but I'm pretty sure it adds 3 injuries to the pilot. The pilot had already suffered 2 injuries from the ammo explosion. The ejection that allowed her to keep living is it left her with 5 injuries, which is I think about 2 months of recovery time, which basically takes them out of the rest of the season. So ultimately, the Dragonborn will be moving forward into the semifinals, but they will be moving forward without Liz Montgomery. Quite unfortunate. Sucks all around, but sometimes that's just the way the cookie crumbles, as some would say. Laren debutantes. They took on the Dover Crows, and let me tell you, Baron Weissman in the narrative has really taken this team and turned it way the heck around from what it was in the previous seasons. And that, of course, is Grimdark James, an excellent Megamech player, big fan of the BattleTech franchise. Demo, there's a term, I can't think of what exactly it is, but basically he's a demo agent, not quite working for Catalyst Game Labs. Does a lot of convention type stuff with the BattleTech stuff. At any rate, he took on the Dover Crows, and narratively speaking, Baron Weissman has absolutely proven every right to be a team manager here on Solaris, earning his validation as a team manager in a very well-fought match that resulted, ironically, only barely in a win. I think it got super close at the end, and I think it was going to be a Crows win, but unfortunately, because of that heat, the debutants ended up scoring a few extra points, and that was enough to put them over the top. Either way, still a very well played match, very fun match to watch. You should, if you haven't seen it, you really should check it out. It's a really good match to watch. That said, the debutants will advance into the semifinals. American Industrialists. Of course, this is an NPC team, one of only a couple left in the competition at this point. They took on the Cyan Spirits, who previously had beaten I'm going to say the Rock City Wolverines in the preliminaries. That sounds right. Yeah, that is right, because it was the Crows in the opposition for the other preliminary match. At any rate, the Industrialists just took the field, moved forward, and continued firing extensively on whatever target was there. Overwhelming firepower, as usual, tends to lead the way. And in this case, it really was a steady wave of advancement and unrelenting fire. And I almost said Indianapolis, the Industrialists took the win from the Spirits, and they've removed them from any further competition. The Industrialists will advance into the semifinals. Cyan Spirits, we just talked about them a second ago. It was just basically a very tough showing against a determined and proficient team. The Spirits went in, and they put up a pretty good fight for what they were capable of doing. Of course, it was the bot controlling the mechs, so some choices were really weird. But, when you've got even one pilot with an advantage against you on the bot team, it can still make things difficult. And that Cataphract definitely put up a good bit of hurt. And ultimately, in the end, that Cataphract was destroyed. It was a total loss because of an ammo explosion. And ultimately, the American Industrialists got the win. The Cyan Spirits have been eliminated, and they will most likely be returning in the 30-29 season. Of course, the Spirits are an NPC team, but I think the only NPC team that will not be returning in 30-29 is the Wolverines. Another team will take their place. Speaking of other NPC teams, Torian Nationals. They went up against the Davian Golden Suns. I played this match against Fohammer, and I had a lot of fun with this match. I knew going in, obviously I knew because I'm the one that sets up all the matches. I knew I was going up against the Atlas, but when I plan what I bring to the field, I do that before the players give me their stuff. So there's only some advantage for me as the GM going against him. And I suspected he was going to bring his Atlas. And then when he gave me his lineup, I knew I was going up against the Atlas. And so that basically initiated my one plan, which was my Stalker was more or less going to run up the middle and try to keep range from the Atlas, attack it from range. and then use the other two mechs to basically hop around all over the place and be a general nuisance, and try to score an early kill to get the points lead and try to keep it for the rest of the match without directly engaging the Atlas, except for targets of opportunity. And that's exactly what the Nationals did. Already known for a solid support staff outside of the arena, what with their maintenance crew and whatnot, the Nationals arrived with new tactics focusing on hit and run and striking from oblique angles at targets of opportunity. And while they scored, and they could have won, things turned around in the last couple of rounds of the match that just wasn't enough. The Golden Suns overcame the obstacles. They beat the enemy down, and the Torian Nationals have been eliminated in the quarterfinals. Torian Nationals will be returning in 3029. I'm really looking forward, personally, as the GM running this team as an NPC team, I'm really looking forward to seeing the Nationals put a very solid team together. They've already got a solid support maintenance staff. Now they just need a couple of good pilots, and now it's going to be a couple of good pilots and a couple of good mechs, and I think the Nationals could really turn things around and become another dominating force in the arena. A little bit of speculation on my part. Torian Nationals have been quite a bit of a joke. Kind of like the easy win team before the Wolverines showed up. But I'm really looking forward to seeing what the Torian Nationals can come up with in the coming season. That said, looking at the bracket projection or graphical version of what I just said, Dover Crows were defeated by the Lyran Debutantes. Davian Golden Suns defeated the Torian Nationals. Luthien Dragonborn won over against the Canopian Honeybees. And lastly, the American Dutchless defeated the Scion Spirits, which brings me next to our next matches for the semifinals. We have the Debutantes versus the Golden Suns, and the Dragonborn versus the Industrialists. One of these matches is a player versus player. The other one is a player versus GM. All four teams have a stadium. So as with the previous round, we will be rolling 1d6 against each other to see which team gets the home field advantage. However, because all four teams have that stadium, there will be no +2 modifier. There's no reason for it. Just roll a flat 1d6. Whoever gets a higher number gets the stadium. That's all there is to say about that. Moving on to our last bit here is, of course, Olaf's predictions. The first match is the Debutantes versus the Golden Suns. Listen, both of these, frankly, are going to be tough matches to call. They're tough to predict as to which team is going to win, and all four teams have things going for them that can make things very interesting on the battlefield. Starting with the Debutantes and the Golden Suns, Weissman has really turned this team around and fielded some interesting lineups and mechs, and currently enjoys a 7-match win streak. And that number might actually be 8, but I'm pretty sure it's 7. The Golden Suns, on the other hand, are known for their Atlas being a powerful dominator on the battlefield, alongside their equally impressive all-laser Hunchback as well. So, can the Debs Marauder 2 and Wolverine combo match? Or will James bring something totally different to the field, suspecting that that's what Bowhammer is going to bring to the field? Frankly, I don't know which way to call this one, in character or out. Both are good players. I think at the end of the day, it's going to come down to a very, very close match. It may very well be decided based on points alone, and if not, it could even get closer to that, where I have to pay real close attention to the battle value percentage remaining in order to determine which team wins. But it's going to be a good match. I'm really looking forward to this one. Speaking of the other match I'm looking forward to, frankly, nothing against Darius. Darius is a big pain in my ass every time I go to play him. And I say that in a good way. He's a good dude. And every time I have a match against him, it's easily a coin toss at best as to which one of us is going to win. And it's usually Darius, to be totally honest. So I don't know how this fight's going to go. But between these two matches, I've got my eye on Grimdark James and Foehammer to see how that plays out. This match, again, it's tough to call. I don't know which way it's going to go between the Dragonborn and Industrialist. Obviously, I'm rooting for the Industrialist, but I have to give all my players a fair chance, of course. We've seen this matchup before. Advanced mechs crossing the field to either blast away at each other or just slug it out in a massive bout of fisticuffs. I really like saying bout of fisticuffs. I have no idea why. At any rate, this is incredibly challenging to call because the Dragonborn, they're a tough team. That King Crab is a King Crab is a King Crab. It says it right there on the screen, and frankly, that King Crab advanced with 2 ERPPCs, some LB10s, and the SRM6s. It is a tremendously powerful damage-dealing machine. There's just no way around it. And it has a ridiculous amount of armor because it's a 100-ton mech. It's hard to counter that. The only way to fight it, I've fought it once and I've beat it once that I can recall, and any other time I've fought it, I've lost. And even in that one time, it took multiple ammo explosions to put the damn thing down, and still was not out of the fight. It was still in the fight because of the stupid damn case. The case is wonderful, don't get me wrong. Now, having said all that, the Dragonborn are at quite a bit of a disadvantage. They've lost two big players in the last few weeks. They've lost Banksy, I want to say it was week 7 or 8, knocking her out of the competition for the rest of the season. And then last week, while Liz Metamurray wasn't quite as well skilled or talented as Bamsey, losing Metamurray, one of their better players for the Dragonborn, is definitely going to put them at a bit of advantage. So I'm very curious to see what Darius does to put something of a wall up in front of the Industrialists to stop them from advancing to the finals, because I know Darius wants to win this competition. He's been wanting to win this competition since the beginning of everything, since the beginning of time. I shouldn't say that. I was gonna say all Darius wants to do is win. That's not true. He wants to have a great match. If he gets to win, that's even better. I don't want to sound like I'm talking smack about my players, because they're all really good guys. I'm gonna talk smack, but I don't mean it in a derogatory. At any rate, that's what I think. I think both of these matches, are going to be incredible matches to watch. Very fun to watch, very entertaining to watch. Watching the interplay between the four people involved, I'm really, really looking forward to this. I can't wait to get started, other than the fact it took me a few days extra to get this video put together. So I'm really looking forward to seeing it. Can I say which team is going to win? I seriously can't. I know I want the Industrialists to win because they're more or less my team. Even though it's, technically they're only an NPC team. I don't have my own team anymore. I really want the Industrialists to win, and that's mostly because I've always been a Merrick fan since my earliest BattleTech days. At least as far as the Inner Sphere is concerned. Grimdark James, Fullhammer, I can't call it. I really just want to watch this match, and whoever wins, wins. I can't choose one over the. It's almost like saying which of my sons is my favorite. None of them. It's my daughter's my favorite. That's not true. Well, I love all my kids equally. My youngest is sitting there staring daggers at me right now. At any rate, I can't pick. I seriously can't pick. I think Darius is got a fair chance of winning, but he's gonna have to fight for it. I think both Foehammer and Grimdark James have a fair chance of winning, but they're both really gonna have to fight for it. And when you put James and Foehammer together in a match where they both have to fight to win, it's just gonna be a fun match to fight. And I'm gonna give Darius the hardest possible fight he can have. And if he beats me, he beats me. And if I win, I'll feel bad. But at least my Industrialists will be the team winning. That's really all I can say. That's all I can say. I kind of deliberated a bit on this, the final topic here. And yeah, I got a little bit more insight thrown in there than I normally would. But, I mean, hell, it's the Trinity Cup Championship semifinals. We got to throw a little extra meat and potatoes on the grill here. At any rate, that is our final slide. So thank you, my friends. Thank you for stopping by and hanging out. Hope you enjoyed it. If you do, please consider all the likes and shares and subscriptions and all the other stupid buttons on the screen. But most importantly to me, in the description for this video is the link for the Discord server. Please come hang out. Please come hang out. And more importantly, not even for me, but hang out and talk with the other players. They've put up some really hard fights, and they deserve the fan base's recognition. So come say hi to them. Tell them congratulations. Boost them up, get them psyched up for these next couple of fights, because this semifinals match will, of course, determine who's going to be in the finals. And I'm pretty sure all four of us, the three others more so than me, because I'm just an NPC, they all want this cup for bragging rights, if nothing else. So they would love it if you'd come in here and egg them on. But other than that, we are going to get out of here. With this video being posted sometime in the next few days, we'll start getting things hammered out for the next few matches. I know everybody's got a little bit of something going on, so the next couple of matches won't be recorded for a little while. It's going to take some time, so be patient, but the content is coming, and there are also other forms of content out there on my channel, so stick around. And of course, all this information can be found on Discord. At any rate, I'm going to get out of here. You guys have a wonderful day, morning, noon, or night, whatever it is for you, wherever you are. Stay safe out there. This world is a crazy, dark place, so make sure you're doing what you got to do to take care of you and yours. And as for me and mine, we're out of here. We'll see you next time.